Understand the news with war vocabulary. 30 useful words to boost your English. Hello, my name is Josh. Welcome to English Speaking 360. Is your English stuck at the intermediate B1, B2 level? If so, a great way to reach advanced level is to learn topical vocabulary, words that are related to one topic. Today I'm helping you expand your vocabulary. After watching my video, you will be able to understand the news much better. Let's get started. High-frequency words. These words, you hear them all the time on the news, so you must know them. The first one, of course, is war. Another word for war is conflict. An armed conflict is even better, right? On the news, these words pretty much all mean the same thing, a fight between countries. The conflict has displaced thousands of people, so thousands of people have had to move because of the war, because of the conflict. Armed forces is the same as the military. Very often we hear the Army, the Navy, the Air Force. So those are branches of the military, those are branches of the armed forces. To be armed means to have weapons. So soldiers who have weapons are armed forces. Armed forces remain on high alert. This is something you would see as a headline. Armed forces remain on high alert. The military said the operation was defensive. Attack. An attack, you probably know that word, but if there is a land attack, we call it an invasion. If it's an air attack, then we call it an airstrike. Here are some examples for you. The invasion forced many residents to flee the area. Several airstrikes were reported near the capital. Now let's move on to high-frequency words for people involved in a war. The most important word to remember is soldiers, but very often on the news you will hear the word troops. They are both very similar. Soldiers were seen patrolling the streets. Troops were deployed to the border this morning. Troops were deployed, troops were sent to the border this morning, so soldiers were sent to the border. Civilians. Not a soldier here. These are normal people. We are civilians. The armed conflict has severely affected local civilians. Casualties. People killed or injured in a war or a conflict are called casualties. Officials reported civilian casualties following the airstrikes. Civilians, so they were not soldiers, they were normal people. And they were either killed or injured by the airstrikes. A refugee. A refugee is a person forced to leave their country. For example, many refugees have crossed into neighboring countries. So refugees have been displaced. They were pushed out of their own country because of a conflict. Common war verbs. Now, these verbs appear constantly in headlines, so you must know them. Here's the first one. Break out. Break out is a phrasal verb that is used when we talk about war. War broke out last year. It means the war started last year. It began last year. It broke out. Deploy. Troops were deployed to the border. Troops were sent to the border. You remember troops, right? Soldiers. Soldiers were deployed to the border. Escalate. The conflict is escalating. The conflict is intensifying. The conflict is worsening. So escalate, you know the word escalator. An escalator is something you find at a shopping mall to go up to the next floor, right? So remember this, it's going to help you a lot. The conflict is escalating. It's reaching a higher level. It is intensifying. Launch. The army launched an attack. The army started an attack. The army began an attack. And the last important verb is retaliate. This one, we hear it so often on the news. Officials vowed to retaliate. To retaliate means to strike back. So you punch me and I punch you back, it means I retaliate. So if a country is attacking another country, maybe that country is going to strike back. The country is going to retaliate. Language used when leaders threaten other countries. All options are on the table. This is what a leader would say to mean we may use military force. Maybe or maybe not. All options are still on the table, so we have many options that we can choose from. But military force is one of them. And that is a threat. We will not rule out force. We will not rule out force means military action is possible. To rule out means to remove as an option. So if you do not rule out force, force is still an option. So that means military action is possible. There will be consequences. We will retaliate. We will strike back. It is the same thing. There will be consequences means whatever you do, expect us to do something in return. Expect us to strike back. We are prepared to take action. We are prepared to act. It means we are ready to attack. So try to remember these 4 expressions here. You will hear them very often on the news. Peace vocabulary. So a more positive topic. These words are often used in the peace process. So the first important word is negotiations. Negotiations resumed after weeks of fighting. It means the peace talks resumed after weeks of fighting. A ceasefire. A ceasefire came into effect yesterday. To cease means to stop firing. So to stop using your guns to fire at other people. A ceasefire is a break in fighting or an agreement to stop hostilities for a certain time. Retreat. Armed forces retreated from the city. Armed forces left the city. Withdraw. The Navy withdrew from the area. It means the same. It also means leave. Retreat might be just for a short time before attacking again, whereas withdraw is more permanent. The Navy withdrew from the area, so the Navy is probably not coming back to that area. And the last one is a peace agreement. A peace agreement was signed by both sides. A peace deal was signed by both parties, by both governments. It's quiz time! 10 questions for you to check your new knowledge. What is another way to call a group of soldiers? Casualties, civilians, troops, or invasion? A group of soldiers is also called troops. Give yourself 1 point. Question 2. The Army plus the Navy plus the Air Force equals what? The ceasefire, the military, the refugees, the armed forces. This one is a little hard, and the answer is the military. But you can also say the armed forces because they are the same. Question 3. What is another word for war? Armed conflict, ceasefire, airstrike, or negotiations? And the answer is armed conflict. An armed conflict really shows that weapons are involved. Question 4. When an army enters a foreign country and takes control, it is what? It is a peace agreement, an invasion, an airstrike, or a ceasefire. When an army enters a foreign country and takes control, it is an invasion, a land attack. Question 5. War started after weeks of rising tensions. Another word for started. Escalated, launched, retaliated, or broke out. This is a very important word. War broke out after weeks of rising tensions. Question 6. What do we call people who had to leave their country because of a conflict? Casualties, refugees, civilians, or troops? And the answer is refugees. Of course, refugees are also civilians, but civilians don't have to leave their country. When civilians have to leave their own country, they become refugees. Question 7. When both sides agree to stop fighting for some time, we call it what? An attack, a peace agreement, a negotiation, or a ceasefire. So both sides agree to stop fighting for a short time, for some time. We call that a ceasefire. Question 8. What do we call the final document that signifies the end of a conflict? An invasion, a peace agreement, a negotiation, or a ceasefire? The final document that means that the war is over is a peace agreement. 1 point if you got it right. Question 9. After the attack, they decided to strike back. Another word for strike back. Withdraw, deploy, retaliate, or launch. After the attack, they decided to retaliate. They were attacked first, but then they decided to fight back, to strike back, to retaliate. Question 10. Which expression means that military action is possible? All options are on the table. We will not rule out force. There will be consequences. Or we are prepared to take action. This one is a tough question. And the answer is, all options are on the table. But also, we will not rule out force. But also, there will be consequences. And one more, we are prepared to take action. All of these expressions mean that military action is possible. The Army or the Navy or the Air Force may get involved. Excellent. I hope you've learned something new today. If you want to practice, go to my website, EnglishSpeaking360.com. You will find many activities for each one of my videos. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye-bye.